Hey, good morning or good afternoon, depending on which side of the country you're joining us from. Thank you for joining us. Charlie McQueen here with McQueen Financial Advisors. Got Perry with me here. Perry is the tech guru. Perry, say hi to everyone, please.
Hi, everyone. Thanks for joining.
We're super excited. Our tech team has been doing tons of work and really excited about the new online 24/7 ALM simulation tool. We're super excited about that. All right, guys. Well, kick things off here. You got the introductions, but you get to see our pretty pictures now, both on the screen and in here. But really excited to have our three main products and services we provide to our clients: our investment advisory services, our asset liability management services, and our valuation services. But part of our core component of McQueen Financial is a solid technology group. Perry leads the technology group, and he's here as he's brought forward our online ALM. We're super excited. So thank you, Perry.
Thank you.
All right, guys. During this, if you have any questions, you'll see if you move up and down on your screen, little Q&A box or Q&A button. You can click it and put your questions in, and we'll answer them. Also, if you'd like a recording of today's webinar, please reach out to your MFA advisor, and they'll get you a copy of it. Or you can go to our YouTube channel, where Perry and I are now YouTube stars together. We're pretty excited about that. All right, kicking off here, I have to stop real quick and do a little bit of an economic update. Shouldn't surprise any of you. This will be a really quick one today because we're here to talk about online ALM. But one of the reasons why we have our online ALM simulation is so you can do simulations on the fly. We're happy to still help you do those simulations, but you can have them done on the fly at 11 o'clock at night if you want, or a Saturday morning. One of the reasons why to do these simulations, obviously the easy one, we're going to show some examples here in a minute about growing a loan category, but at other times it may be a shift in economic situations and how your balance sheet may change. So today we had Q2 GDP just come out, preliminary number minus 0.9. Q1 GDP was minus 1.6. A lot of people believe the technical definition of a recession is 2 quarters of negative GDP growth. Well, we have now had 2 quarters of negative GDP growth. So we may be in a recession, a mild recession. This is one, though, we'll see what happens and how it's declared. We're definitely in some sort of downturn here, slow down a little bit. But our GDP growth has been all over the place, as you can see in this chart here, based off of the big bounce down with COVID, and then the big rebound of COVID, and we seem to be selling in here a little bit. But the Fed has raised rates. Then also this week, it's been a busy week. So besides GDP, the day before, Fed raised the Fed funds rate 75 basis points. We're now up to 250 on the Fed funds, and we're looking at potentially another 75 basis points, although some people are calling for 50 already at the September Fed meeting. But one thing you'll see here is we're getting close to the top. The Fed funds futures are predicting that we're going to get up close to 350 in December of 22. So just a few months or so down the road from now. So we see a lot of changes here. With that, the yield curve is what we refer to very technically as a yield line. Perry may say that it's an inverted yield line. Very good point, Perry. But it's definitely not curvy. That's like the quality of Charlie's drawing of curves, a straight line. But everything's 3%. It is inverted, and that is an indication that we are getting closer to the top. And last but not least here, one of my favorite graphs. I always have to share this, as I do think it brings in a lot of relevance. If we look back here in 2004, 5, 6, rates came up, everything comes together, they invert for a little bit, then we come back down. And the same thing happens out in 2018, 19, everything converges, we then stay flat and we come back down. Now, going back to 2005, 6, 7, it's much more reasonable or much more easier to understand because it's a similar activity to today with the Fed raising rates to cause a change. Back then, they were breaking the housing market. Today, they're trying to stop inflation. But we're getting close. We can see this just dramatic increase of yields, the 2-year and the 10-year coming together, and Fed funds quickly shooting back up, catching up as the Fed was well behind the curve here. So with that, we do expect rates to continue to go up, not too much more, but we're going to continue to go up for a bit here. What does that mean? Well, that means it's a great time to do some ALM simulations. Great time to see what happens if loan growth slows and investment yields rise. Maybe investment yields drop. Maybe you have different balance changes. So lots of different things that can potentially come from this, and it's a great way to do simulations. So with that, we're going to hop into the 24/7 online ALM simulations. Oh, and before I forget, real quick, our Q3 economic outlook is being sent out, I believe, tomorrow morning. So everyone will have a copy of our documents and our viewpoints. It does include the updated GDP numbers and Fed fund changes. So that will be in your inbox here, probably the same time tomorrow. All right, with that, super excited here, Perry. 24/7.
24/7. Data is loaded and you're able to interact with it seamlessly and save it and export it.
Yep, we are excited about this, guys. To get into our system access, you need access. Security is obviously very important for us in the industry. If you are registered for our MFA portal, you already have access. You can hop right in. If one of your team members needs access to the portal, please reach out to your advisor. Your advisor will work with you to get them access. But everyone here, the vast majority of people in this call, I know already have access to our portal where we upload and download data and reports. Really, really exciting.
Yeah, and one point here, Charlie, is this access and security is very important to us. So you will not be able to ever see anyone else's data, nor will anyone else be able to see your data. It's kind of a moot point, but everything is tied to your portal login, and that is your authorization to see your own data.
Yeah, it's really, really important, Barry. It's something we will really take serious here as our data security. And then you have to make sure you let us know that you want people to have access to things. Everyone has different levels of access. Again, your MFA advisor can go into great detail on this, and they're happy to help you. All right, data. Let's talk data and timing. This is a really interesting situation. We of course want the data immediately available. Right now, everyone's March 31st data is available. Once your June 30th ALM report is completed, it is uploaded. It may take a day, but it's uploaded to the online system, and you'll be able to run with it. So if you really want to do some simulations fast, make sure you get all your data in for your ALM report on a very timely basis, and we'll get it updated. So really excited about that. We've got some great new processes the team's put in place and getting things there. All right, so how do we get here? Well, it's a long story. I drove to work. How about you, Perry?
Yeah, I did.
Okay, so we both drove. That's how we got here. All right, so here we are in our office, a rare moment, but we're standing here in the world headquarters of McQueen Financial, having a great time working in the office. Kind of crazy, isn't that, Perry?
It is collaboration.
Yep, and then it's the summer.
Yeah.
All right. Anyhow, so here we are at the website. I know all of you are used to our website. We love it, beautiful. The top bar here, you'll see all of our things, great things about us, our services, economic info, webinars just like this one. That's where you can find information on those. Our newsletters, such as our economic updates, how to contact us, and then client portal, which a lot of you have obviously used to get to your uploading data and downloading reports. And then right next to that, I want you to click right here. Can't miss the big red arrows, can you, Perry?
No, that's a good spot. That's a good indicator.
Yeah, those are not on the website, the big red arrows, but those are here to just show us where we're looking for. So ALM, MFA, ALM sim, that's where we need to go. So once you click on that button right there, it'll go through the login process. Your credentials will be put in, and you put your credentials in and you log in. So super excited about that. And then once you're in, it leads you to this awesome page here. Now, this awesome page has a bunch of other red arrows that probably aren't on here on a regular basis, one would think.
No.
So Perry, talk about this. We have our first arrow here on the top left. It points to the side panel. What is all that?
So the side panel is it's a list of online tools that right now we have a few online, and it's going to continue to grow for our clients to be able to use. And this is where you would be able to navigate to the tools. You can expand this menu, and the little calculator showing is the ALM simulator.
Mm-hmm.
And very soon it is under final touches under construction, but we have a peer analysis comparison tool that is also going to be available. And upcoming after that will be any folks that are with our current expected credit loss services. We are going to be launching a CECL interactive tool very soon as well. So this is where you can come in and navigate with your essentially our portal, and these are your portlets.
Love it, portlets. Great term. So yep, so this is where we'll go to get all of these areas. Super excited about that. Now the top right of our boxes here is settings, logout, etc. It's where my initials are, CM. Super exciting there. Company name, we had some fun with this, Happy Day Bank, why not? Had to come up with something entertaining. And then on the bottom, we've got 4 really important tabs here. What's this one on the bottom left, Barry?
The bottom left is the ability to seamlessly, this is called a radio button. You can go between a gradual simulation or a immediate shock simulation, depending on what you select here. And that will directly affect your net interest income, cash flows and output.
Yeah, it changes everything. So if you want to do an immediate simulation or a variable. Right next to it, there's the 4 output tabs. And those 4 tabs, financials, NEVE, net interest income, and comparison analysis, are 4 individual pages of reports, which we'll go through in a minute, which have all sorts of great information. And one of the neat things of the little comment next to PDF/Excel, on each of those tabs, and also additionally on this main page, you can click that little cool box with an arrow sticking out of it. The Austin Powers box, we'll call that.
Or the export box.
Or
Yes.
the export box, that works too. So the export box there, you click that, you can actually get a PDF version or an Excel download of all of the output. So really excited about that. Here you can run a simulation, you can keep it, you can bring it to Alco, you can also dump it into Excel so you can copy it and put it into any of your reports that you want to share with your organization. So super neat. I'm really excited about that, Barry. And then we have what I call the go button.
Yes. Also known as the dynamic simulation curtain, as we call it. And this is where a client will have their inputs and will be able to interact with the tool. Charlie's going to show this dynamic simulation, but it is as simply for the clients as this is the only inputs or changes you need to make here. The rest of it is real-time calculations for your other analytical pages.
Yep. Well, great with that, Perry. Thank you. And I'm going to stop our share here. I'm going to share a new screen. Really excited about this because we're bringing up the live ALM simulation here. So here you go, guys. I think I picked the right one. Hope I picked the right one, right, Barry? All right. So here we are, guys. This is the live activity here. And so what we've done is we logged in and we're into the system and we've clicked on, and it will automatically goes to ALM Simulator. At times you'll have to click the ALM Simulator button. And as you see here, the radio buttons, as Perry talked about, are 4 tabs, our report date, and then the dynamic simulation go button. You start off with these 4 tabs. We have the current data without any changes. So it is your 12-month forward forecast from your ALM report, where you stand 12 months from now, and we're going to look at what changes, what it would do to that. So to have some fun here, we're just going to stay with a gradual simulation, or we could go shock, but and then you can see, you know, it says success. I have to go shock, Barry.
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay, now what we're going to do is click the green button here that says dynamic simulation, and out pops our time to do work. So what this is this is giving us the ability to make changes. We can grow overall our entire loan portfolio if we wanted to, or we can add any individual. And we could actually grow. In this example here, we'll click this. We could come in here and say, hey, I want to add, look at this, here's one of my loan categories at Happy Day, 10-year new, so new 10-year mortgages. So I want to add 5 million. And it's in thousands, right?
Yeah, everything's in thousands. That's a good point, just to keep it abbreviated.
Yep. And then I'm going to say, hey, 5%. How exciting is that? You know, we're going to add 5% yield, and it's probably not realistic. Let's go to 4. So it's probably be a bit more reasonable here. So pretty excited we get to come through here. Now, what we've done is we've added 5 million. Now up here, it tells me right now, asset changes 5 million positive. Liability changes 0. Therefore, I am not balanced.
Right.
Is that a personal statement, Perry, or a mathematical statement?
Mathematical.
Okay, appreciate that. Now, one of the things we get to do here is we scroll down. We got a lot of loan types in this sample. We want to have just about every variable known to mankind, but we also have more variables. If we click on this button called Add Variable, what does it do?
It takes us to a drop-down list that we can select to possibly add balances or loan, programs that we don't already run. For instance, maybe a student loans.
Yep. Or if I want to do new auto 60 months.
Yep. And once you select the drop-down, then we need to get information behind that. So you need the little green checkbox and that'll lock it in.
This is one of the trickier things here. I've got to push that little button.
Yeah, you do. And
Okay.
you can see the beginning balances are 0 because we're adding new. And then the input section here, Charlie, take it away.
I'm going to put 5 million in there again, and then let's just do 4% again. Pretty
Now, when you
exciting.
do 4, let's do a 4.00.
All right.
And then there we go.
Make sure I did it right this time.
Yep.
All right. So now you'll see here on the top is total asset changes, now 10 million positive, no liability changes. So again, I'm not balanced. All right. So what we want to do to have a balanced simulation is we need to figure out how to fund this. And this was actually one of the fun conversations we have with clients when running simulations is, hey, we want to add these loans, but how are we going to fund that? That always became an interesting discussion. Well, here what we're going to do is go to cash and investments, and hey, we're going to say that, well, we have $200 million basically overnight funds.
Mhm.
Why don't we just subtract 5 million? And therefore, we've now taken out 5 million. So up here you can see my assets are up actually only 5 million. Because I added $5 million of mortgages and $5 million of car loans, so I go up 10 million, but now I've taken away $5 million of cash, so my assets are now only up a net 5 million. Still not balanced, right?
Correct.
All right. So let's go down to liabilities. This is for investments, and we can click on investments. We can change any investment we want to, and we can also click that down to make it smaller. But if I want to do something with liabilities, I can go into non-maturity deposits, term deposits, or borrowings. We can grow any of our non-maturity deposit categories by clicking on them here. And then say we're going to grow them by 5 million to balance things out, or 2 million here and 3 million somewhere else. We can also go down to here, term deposits. Do I want to bring some certificates of deposit in? I don't think that's a good idea because frankly, no one wants CDs these days. But we can go to borrowings. Now, for example, here, our example does not have any borrowings. So what do I want to do?
You can add borrowings to the term, or yeah, you can come in and select from the add variable.
Let's do a 3-year Federal Home Loan Bank borrowing. I'm going to click the super green button again.
Yep, check mark.
And I'm going to put my 5 million in. And then I'm going to put a little bit more reasonable rate. Now we've got a little bit of older data here, which, you know, after like 4 days old, the rates have changed in this wonderful
Right.
market we're in.
And this is September. Yep.
I'm just going to put 2%. So now you'll see at the top of the screen, total assets changed, 5 million. Total liabilities changed, 5 million. So I'm actually growing the whole balance sheet by 5 million, right, Barry?
Right.
Okay, I'm going to click the all important. You ready?
I'm ready.
Save and run, top right. Oh, what's the name? Test. 222. Confirm, save, and run. All right, look at that. Success. Simulation saved successfully. One of the important things here is the simulation is saved. If you want to go back, you can pull it up and look at it again, modify it, so you don't have to keep modifying the whole thing, right, Perry?
Correct, exactly. And that's, you know, Charlie did test 222, but as you're using this, even thinking about, you know, a naming convention of kind of what you ran and maybe the date or time that you ran it will help as well, because all of those simulations will be saved for you and can be re-pulled at a later date. So just a little tidbit.
Yeah, that's a great point, Barry, because if you want to keep running the same simulation every quarter, you can have you call it your 9/30 quarter end, or you could call it your you know, more loan quarter end report, and so you can keep running the same report every quarter. So that's really nice. You can save them and have them there to refresh.
Yep.
Well, let's look what we have now. Now we have data filled in here. We already had the static forecast, the beginning 12-month forecast. Now we have the changes. And so this goes through all the details of the financials. Really cool. I love the comparison report. I'm half tempted to start there first, but I'll go in order today.
Okay.
So here we are, changes. We took out 5 million of cash. New Fed funds, here's our earnings, new overnight funds. Those are the earnings for the next 12 months. Here we have loans. So we added 10 million of loans. We subtracted 5 million in cash, and then we had 300,000 or 292,000 in earnings. So we're up 5,292,000. Liabilities, we added $5 million in borrowings. We had none, now we have them.
Correct.
So there we go. So in this example, our capital is unchanged except for earnings because we have a balanced simulation. Well, I know this is pretty intuitive here, guys, which is our goal. We want to make this easy for everyone. We have our income statement. Our static forecast, our changes, and then our output, the dynamic forecast. We have our expenses here, and we see we had loan income come up, Fed funds income come down, borrowing expense go up, and then the net of all that is where we are today, down to our net income. And what also is really cool here is we do have ratios. We've got some really important ratios: ROA, ROE, yield on assets, cost of funds, net interest margin, loan to assets, loan to funding, efficiency ratio, and capital asset. And really, really great data here, Perry. Pretty excited about this. All right, so we scroll back up here. We can click on NEVE. And what does this do? This shows our NEVE right here before simulation. And this was your NEVE output that you have as of, will be June 30th, if you pull up your June 30th report. And we have all the important things: assets, liabilities, NEVE, any changes, the percent change, and then your policy limits too. So we can see if we're outside of policy limits or inside of policy limits as we start. Then we have the NEVE after simulation, and we go through and have all the changes after the simulation. And then we have the changes, so you can see where the dollar amounts have changed. So really nice to see that detail, Perry.
Yeah, and as I understand, the up 300 is a major scenario bucket. As you know, very important to the interest rate environments we're in. So this is a really good indicator to see how our economic value has changed from our inputs. That's right.
Yep, really, really nice. Now, as much as I love NEVE, income to me is more important, but we have to do both. It is important that we provide both to for regulatory purposes, but also for management purposes. This page follows the same theory. Net interest income before simulation here. So we're showing where you were before the simulation. And by the way, don't forget, it's plus minus 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. As the Fed keeps raising rates quickly, we will continue to add in the minus numbers as they're appropriate. We're gonna have to start adding in minus 300 now, but that'll be a flip of the switch. It's easy. Loan interest income, security income, total interest income here. We then go down to expenses, non-maturity deposits, CDs, borrowings, and total interest expense. We get to net interest income, and there you go. There we go. And then our percent change of net interest income. Then we have our after simulation. How do things change with the simulation? Taking this all the way down to net interest income right here. And then we go down the path to the changes. So you can actually see and pinpoint, hey, why are these changes happening? What's causing us to have a bigger modification?
Correct.
So really exciting here. It's the same format, but we can really drill down to see where things are changing.
And what's neat is too, you could see the change in the expense from the borrowings, which is a good decision in our times, depending on your situation or, your own bank's needs. And I'm sure Charlie could talk about that a lot more, but it's nice to see how that kind of impacts if you decided to kind of make a strategy to raise borrowings.
Yep. And I would say don't raise borrowing costs.
No.
I don't want that now.
Right.
We want to focus on a bigger margin, guys. And that's actually one of the neat things here that we can do is look at how we change assets and what happens to that margin, Perry. And you're spot on. It's a great way to look at our future and really focus on profitability. As we've been talking about, and all of our advisors have been talking with clients in our last economic update, we talked quite a bit about the margin and how we really want to maximize margins, really to grow equity, taking a step back to NEVE, why it's so important to get a bigger margin today. So with that, my favorite page is the comparison analysis. And we get into the comparison analysis, it shows us in detail, what did we do? Hey, what did we do? We grew 5 million in 10-year new mortgages. We added 5 million in 60-month autos. We shrank Fed funds by 5 million. We added a $5 million 3-year borrowing. So we can see the percentage change, hey, is it reasonable that we can grow 10-year new mortgages by 103%? It's a great question. So to me, the next thing this does is it gives us the income and expense unchanged rate scenario and makes it a much more compact view than the detailed, which is the two differences. Loan income, interest income, investment income, interest expense, non-interest expense. And then we get into this neat ratio page, net interest income. Excuse me, I said the wrong thing there.
No, and that's good. I mean, 293,000 from this strategy of extra income.
Perry, thank you for pointing that out. Here's what Perry's showing is by doing this simulation, by making these changes, we're going to make $293,000 more a year.
Correct.
That's so nice. Buy a couple lunches these days, although
Yeah.
lunch is getting expensive.
Tank of gas.
Yeah, maybe two, you never
Yeah.
know. All right, so here next is ratios, and this is super exciting to me. So not only has Perry brought in all of our ratios and our current forecast, but also our dynamic forecast, the difference. And then if you have policy limits, the policy limits are automatically brought in, and you get the awesome green check mark or the evil red X, one of the two.
All right.
And we can see where our ratios have gone.
Yep, and that's looking at the dynamic forecast, the kind of the after the 1 year forward after simulation. And if you look, 8.29% is still above our 7% policy limit for this net worth to assets ratio. So we are good to go. Just wanted to point that out as where that greater than or less than policy limit is coming with the after.
Perfect. Thank you, Barry. All right, we get into income sensitivity next. What's really nice about this is this shows our net interest income and our static forecast, our dynamic forecast, and changes. So again, this whole section here is for the shorter version. You get the detail on those other pages, but here's a quick output. And what do we have here? We have all the information. Do we pass? Did we pass? Now do we pass or fail our limits? And then we have an interactive graph where you can see the changes to your income. Really, really exciting. Then we get into NEVE. Super exciting here too. We've got our static forecast, our dynamic forecast, the change in NEVE, and then do we pass or fail our limits? And for this example, we don't have plus 500 limits, so there's nothing there. And then these, such a small change in this balance sheet, it's hard to see the differences, but they're right on top of each other. Mm-hmm. So really, really cool. These are the 4 main pages of the report. They give us all sorts of information. On each page on the right-hand side, you'll see the print button or the export button here, and you can click on that export button and it'll export just this page. Or up here on the top, you can click on the export button and you can export the entire report, all pages. So really, really exciting.
Would you like to show one of that?
I'll show them that. We'll click this export button.
Mm-hmm.
And then here you get an option for PDF. I click the export button up here. I get an option for which page do I want, and do I want to go to PDF or Excel?
Correct. And these check boxes here, you can uncheck or check depending on what you'd like to see.
I'm going to export that one to PDF.
Yeah, this is essentially our summary report.
Now, what I want to know, Perry, am I sharing the correct tab? I believe I am, and everyone should see. If not, I apologize. This is the exported version. That is literally how quick it goes. And we are doing a live demo, which is making me incredibly nervous, of course, anything live. But there we go.
Yeah.
So really excited. Great job, Perry. Great report. You'll see then again as I flip through, the graphs are all here and the data on both these. So you could have this. This is something you can take and put in your files or give to your board of directors. So with that, I am super excited what we've got going on here. The simulator is incredible. It gives you the ability to run any simulation you'd like. You can go through and modify. You can save the simulations, you export the simulations. Our goal here is for you to have more tools to ensure that you're making the best decisions possible for long-term financial success. We're still here to help. If you want to have us do a simulation with you, please call. Please reach out to your advisor. If you want to do simulations on your own, please feel free. There's no additional charge for this. We believe so much in making sure that we're giving you more value every day. All of us at McQueen Financial strive, and this is one of the things that we believe that you deserve. You deserve a wonderful online tool where you can make all of the changes that you want. So with that, I really want to thank everyone who are excited about this. Reach out to your advisor, and they're going to be able to go through this with you. And I'm going to flip screens. We're going to keep going here for a minute as we're going to go back to our other set of screens. And what I want to do is then get into some Q&A activity here. Perry's getting some great questions coming to him. So we're back here, and I'm going to roll forward. And we're not done yet, but I do want to thank everyone for joining us and spending some time with us today. And what I do want to talk about here is some questions that are coming in. And before I forget, our next webinar is on August 17th. We're going to be doing an economic update. So really excited about that. So a couple questions have come in, and please don't forget, if you want to ask a question, hit the Q&A button, and you'll be able to then type in any question you have. And so a question came in and said, hey, I'm doing this with you. I have my 6:30 ALM done, but I only have my 3:31 to choose from. What we'll do is we'll check. There is a batch upload process that takes place. To be technical, it may have not been completed for your ALM report. We'll make sure though after this that it is. The process. It usually takes a day once an ALM report's done to be uploaded and available for the system.
Yep, and we can load it right away. So we will, like Charlie said, we'll definitely follow up and get that in.
Cool. Right, another question came in. Do you know that the time frame for you were making the changes for? Yes. So whenever we're making a modification to the ALM report, we are looking at a 1-year forward outcome. So we start right now. The static forecast is 1 year forward from today, from your report date. So it's a June 30 report. The output is June 30 of 2023. What would be the 12 months of income and changes? And then when we're making a change, if it's a shock change, it immediately happens. And that starts on day one. And you'll see the balances change on day one. If you do a gradual change, those changes are implemented gradually over a 12-month time frame. So super excited about that. All right, so another question came in talking about liquidity options. And we do have our liquidity reports. They are still going through our older ALM, our current ALM model. I should say not older, that's a bad term. We can run ALM stress tests and have those uploaded for you. That is not an online version yet. To give us a little bit of foreshadowing, I bet it will be soon. Mm-hmm. There's also stress testing. This does have all of the plus minus 1, 2, 3, 4, 500 basis point changes. And you can make some pretty big changes in liquidity by running some simulations there on your own. But we can also run those as we go forward.
Yeah, and if I can just add here, Charlie, this is an exciting question because, you know, we've worked hard to get our clients useful tools. Like that's the idea, you know, utilizing your data to the fullest. So these feedbacks, these suggestions, they're just so important as we will continue to grow this platform for our clients. And eventually we'll have, you know, a release 2 or release 3. And that is also something we've talked about, you know, sending our clients an update of, hey, this is what has been fixed. This is what has been added. Thanks for your suggestions and things like that. So it's so very important with these tools that your feedback and suggestions are not ignored. Yep. And actually really, really welcomed.
So we had a question came in. Do you have a specific file template for uploading files? Yeah, we do. We do. Our ALM team and our data entry team is happy to help and go through that with you. We can send you example formats. We work with all data processors out there, so we have file formats and file names of all data processors to get us the data quickly and easily. And I tell you, the better you guys can help us get data over, the easier. Perry says something about no scan sideways PDFs. I don't know what he means by that, but we're always looking for really high quality data, so appreciate that. All right, another question that came in. Yeah, so will additional simulation options be available in the future, including such things as modifying prepayment speeds, some different deposit terms? Absolutely. We continue to grow this and make this more dynamic day in and day out. We can still and are happy to run all those simulations for you. If you reach out to your advisor, we'll be able to run those internally and give you the reports. So we're still doing those. We're happy to do those. This is started to be a kickoff here with everyone be able to do some, I was going to say simple, but no, it's a lot more than simple. We can do very complex simulations here, multiple different products. So really excited about that. All right. Terry, there's another question that came in, and the question asked, can I do this at 11 o'clock at night while sitting in my pajamas?
Absolutely. Absolutely. And if you have internet in your car, you can do it there. You can run it on your mobile phone. Driving. Not while you're driving. No, that's right. On your mobile phone, on your iPad. You know, so we have this as a responsive window for all of our trusted and loved gadgets now.
So what you're telling me, I can use this on my iPhone?
Absolutely.
My Android phone?
Absolutely.
My iPad?
Yes.
My laptop?
Yes.
My MacBook Pro?
Yep.
Chromebook?
Chromebook.
Look at that.
Tablet.
Now, really excited about this. This is available on all products as we have a little bit of fun and joke around about them. But any product you have you will be able to run it. So with that, Perry, thank you very much for joining me here. I'm really thankful for your entire team. Your entire team has worked very tirelessly on this. Our whole ALM team has worked very tirelessly on all this, and we're super excited about it. We are here to get feedback. And so as you play with it, as you run simulations, please reach out to your advisor, give them feedback. We always want to make everything better. We really appreciate the relationship we have with you, your entire team, and we're here to help. And so with that, thank you, Perry.
Thank you.
We really appreciate it, the time, everyone, and we look forward to seeing you on August 17th for our economic update. And then after that, there'll be even more of these tech demos coming up soon. Have a great day, everyone.
Appreciate the attendance.
Thank you, Bert.